Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel Ping on PC, which is dedicated to everything on operating system, like overview on operating system to the file system. Whether you are a student or just someone curious about how the computer works under the hood, then you are in the right place. So without any delay, let us start our topic. The first chapter we will cover in this video is the operating system overview. So first let us start. What is the operating system? An operating system is a collection of program and utility which act as an interface between the user and computer in order to make a user-friendly environment. Since the computer is a hardware device and when the user interacts with the computer, the operating system is that utility or the collections of program which act as an interface and make the friendly environment between the user and the computer. Here the utility I have underlined that utility, it means it is the collections of the program which enhance the productivity, efficiency and the functionality of the operating system and the computer system overall. Now let us discuss the structure of operating system. If you will see the structure of operating system, then it consists of 4 different layers. At the bottom layer, the hardware level or hardware layer is there. Above the hardware layer, the operating system layer is there. Above the operating system, the system program, and the system program layer. Above this system program layer, applications program layer is present. In hardware layer, the hardware consists of CPU, your main memory, secondary memory, IO devices like keyboard, mouse, etc. Above this hardware layer, when the software layer is there, the software layer or the operating system layer, which consists the different routines or the set of programs or instructions like your process management routine, memory management routine, IO control routine, protection control routine. These are the different routines which are inside this operating system. So this act as an interface between the outside user and this hardware. Above the operating system layer, system program layer is there. System program layer consists the compiler, assembler and linker which helps the operating system to execute the program securely and properly. Above the system program, the applications program is there, and the applications program consists of the user programs or the user application program like your C, C++, and these are the applications program which are inside this applications program layer. Next, we will discuss the evolution of operating system. So the first of all, before the 1940, there was no starting of operating system. Without operating system, the programmer execute the program serially, that is called the serially processing system. Before the 1950, programmer directly interact with the hardware. There was no operating system. So in order to execute the program, programmer type the program on the punch card and then it is converted to card reader. The programmer examines the register and the main memory to identify the cause of error. So in the before of 1950, when the programmer want to execute some program, then he will write the program or instructions in the punch card. Then the punch card will be converted to the card reader and the card reader will be executed. After the execution completed, the programmer take the printout from the memory, and this process is done serially, one process after another. So this is why it is called the serial processing. The Windows 95 and 98 are the serial processing operating system. Next, the second generation after the serial processing, after the 1950, it is about 1956, the batch processing system was introduced. But there is no direct communication between the computer and operating system. Since operating system approach has arrived, but there is no direct communication between the computer and operating system. There is an operator which need to distribute the work into the batches. So in batch operating system, the programs are executed in batch. That means the similar type of programs or instructions are executed simultaneously. So in this batch processing, if two or three programmer want to write a program, then they will write the program in the punch card, and their punch card, in the same punch card will be converted into the card reader, but simultaneously they can write two or three program in the punch card. The main advantage of this batch processing is the multiple user can use it in the same time, and MBS is the one example of the batch processing operating system. Next, the third generation of operating system is the multi-programming operating system. The multi-programming operating system is designed to serve the multiple number of users served simultaneously. Multi-programming is technique to execute the number of programs simultaneously by the single processor. As its name suggests, the multi-programming, it means more than one program is executed in a single processor. The basic advantage of multi-programming operating system is that it can efficiently increase the memory utilization, because in multi-programming the memory, the CPU or the buses are shareable by the user or the programmer. CPU is never idle in multi-programming. Since there is the number of programs are in a line or in a queue to execute, the CPU never idle. One after another it will execute the programs. Since CPU is never idle, it increases the throughput. Here throughput means the numbers of program which is completed per unit time is called as the throughput. Windows and iOS are throughput. Windows and iOS are some example of multi-programming operating system. Then the fourth generation, after this multi-programming, fourth generation is the time-sharing operating system. Time-sharing operating system is the just enhancement or logical extension of multi-programming operating system. In time-sharing system, multiple jobs are executed by the CPU by switching between them. Switching between them means if a programmer executes some programs inside the CPU, and in the meanwhile the program needs some IO request, then the CPU switches the program from one program to another program. The main advantage of time sharing system is efficient CPU utilization. In this time sharing system, CPU never get idle. If there is some request of printing or some request of IO processing, then the program will be switched out from the CPU and the next program will get inserted to the CPU. CTSS, multi-scale and Unix are some example of time sharing operating system. Then the fifth generation is the parallel operating system. So in order to increase the efficiency or productivity of operating system, the new introduced or advanced operating system, that is the parallel operating system, is introduced. Parallel system consists more than one processor and they are tightly coupled. Tightly coupled, it means the memory, any of the hardware like your memory, processors, buses are the communications line. Buses are shared by the more than one program. In parallel system, number of processors execute their jobs parallelly. In parallel system, inside the system, number of processors are get connected parallelly and they share the hardware devices and they execute the program parallelly. Parallel system increase the CPU throughput. And the sixth generation, the last generation, that is the distributed system operating system. In distributed operating system, processor cannot share the memory and clock. They cannot share the any hardware device, but they share the communication path. Suppose they are in distributed system, the two processors are situated in different side. If there is in one processor or one system have the printer and another system does not have the printer, then the system which does not have the printer can access the other side's printer. So they cannot share, but they can use temporarily. They can use the hardware. here the processors are lightly coupled, but in the parallel system the processors are tightly coupled. Main advantage of this distributed system are the resource sharing. The resource whatever the present in the different sites are shareable with each other, but they can, that is not tightly coupled. Increase the computation speed up. Suppose a big computation is there, then the computation is divided into small unit and it is executed in the different sides of the computer. Then it is reliability, because of if in one side one machine is failure, then the program will does not stop the functionality, it will be shifted to another side and we can execute that program in the other sides, hence it increases reliability. So these are the different generations of operating system. If you like this video, then keep sharing and press the bell icon. Thank you.